She seemed like a chronic self-abuser. I mean, it was a good show. It was a good show. I'm impressed. I got a good man for it.
It's good. It's interesting to see like the pictures, all with the seniors. Yeah. So you see the progression.
Do we know if Billy and Chad are coming?
Chad is.
As far as I know, Billy's at the concert, so I assume he's on.
Chad's baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
So who's this from?
I'm not sure. Unsigned. It wasn't on the list. I thought it came.
Oh, I don't know, but no, I was just saying somebody came here.
Oh, okay.
So I told him.
They shouldn't apologize. I think there's a lot here. No, it's not. First line.
Did you send that payout to Harlan? Okay, 'cause whatever she does, then you have to send that to. Okay. Oh, how convenient, just after your years. When you're watching on YouTube, that it reads like your album.
Using my shirt.
Last week we didn't have a meeting, so.
Last time.
Jen called right in the morning. Rescheduled it.
I think it's still up on here.
Did you check my shirt?
I know. That's Sam's here.
You just have your names on this. This is mine.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's funny.
Oh, there you go.
Good evening, everyone. First up on the agenda is additions to and or approval of the agenda.
No changes.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And agenda approved as presented. Next is public hearing. So we'll open the public hearing for the appeal of the denied conditional use permit for 905 South Main Street.
Mayor and council introduced this issue. This is conditional use permit for storage units to be constructed at 905 South Main. Seen in Runnel, that's the empty lot just south of the baseball field on Main Street. The property is currently zoned as general business district. Neighboring properties are zoned to the north as natural resources conservation. Same to the west, to the south multifamily residential, and to the east a mix of single-family residential, multifamily residential, and general business. So the proposed use is a 58-unit storage building with concrete surfacing throughout, steel frame and siding with roll-up steel doors. The use is approved in the general business district that requires a conditional use permit. It is allowed use without a CUP in the industrial districts. That being said, there are a number of concerns taken into account when considering the usage. This is something that we went through with the Planning and Zoning Commission as well. The core concerns are that the plan use conflicts with our comprehensive plan in a couple of areas, with our land use planning strategy, to our third goal, to enhance visual quality of the city. I got to read through all of those objectives there, but also with our land use policies, there's 3 conflicts with our policies there. Given these conflicts with official policy positions of the city, I believe we're best served by locating these types of use in industrial zones or in commercial zones not adjacent to residential zones. My recommendation would be to deny the conditional use permit. The planning commission denied this permit in March.
What would be the main reasons, in your opinion, as far as comprehensive plan wise, that you would object to?
Well, there's 7 issues that I list out in the memo that are my main concerns. The first, we have an objective to separate our industrial and residential uses, and this would fall under an industrial use. We have an objective to soften the looks and uses to enhance our image as an attractive place. We have an objective to maintain the appearance of Lennox neighborhoods, streets, and commercial districts. Encourage high-quality new developments that are visually attractive and respect their surroundings. And the key there is respect their surroundings. We have a policy to discourage industrial development near residential areas and to encourage new commercial development near commercial areas and buffer them from single-family residential. And last but not least, we discourage spot zoning through our policies to individual parcels.
So as far as the objection number 1, listed as objective, not objection, objective number 1. So for residential use, from what I can see, directly to the northwest, south, and east, there are no residential properties. I understand there's the property to the south is no longer hotels, is something different, but it's not a single residential home. So it's, what I'm trying to say is it's maybe a little bit different than being in the middle of a residential community where there's properties directly to the north, south, west, and east of the unit. So I don't know if you want to clarify that.
Yeah, so to the south, you've got a mix of general business district and multifamily residential. The old motel is apartments now, going multifamily. To the east, you've got single-family residential and general business. And then north and west is where we have that natural resources conservation district. And what we look at in those kind of instances is the use complementary to the surrounding uses. And I think to the south, and east, to the southeast, you can make an argument that it is complementary to those uses. If you go west, north, and northeast, you see the opposite, that it's not complementary to those uses. Typically, you want to see some kind of multifamily residential buffer between your commercial and industrial uses and your single family or park uses.
Has there been any other interest in this property from LADC or another? I mean, like we talk about residential use, it's been for sale for a long time from what I understand. Has there been any residential interest, or is it gonna sit vacant?
I'd say once a year I get some interest about it, and it's typically the price just isn't conducive to it. So.
Isn't there storage units right across the street?
Storage units would be across the street to the south. So if you see if you go across the street, there's a property line about halfway through.
Yep.
And then there's, to the south, a steel shop for an HVAC operation. And then the next one south is the storage units and car wash. Yeah. The applicant is here, and it is a public hearing, so.
Yeah, we welcome any public comment if anybody wants to step up to the podium.
Okay. First of all, does everybody have a set of plans to see what we propose doing? There's 2 buildings, 40 by 250.
Hold up, bro.
Yeah, it's in under the second attachment, on the attachment.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
Now, I would start with the one away from the ball diamond, and if I knew that there was a lot of ball, maybe I'd stop with 1 building versus 2. You never know what's going to happen there. But
It's about 25 a year.
25, okay,
About
so,
25 a year.
well, so anyway, so if, the 25, I think would all get to the first building, probably, not the second one, on the south side of the street. So, we definitely start with that first. So, getting back to these, strategies here, and I'm from a small town, so I know how it goes. There's old parts, and then there's new parts, just like in the north area. I mean, you gotta follow those new areas really tight. But in existing lands that you have throughout the city, to increase the tax basis and stuff like this, I was talking to Gene Cooper, he said he had the land available. I measured it out, and it worked in our plans. We definitely need to build some more storage units. We're full right now. I mean, it takes about a week to 2 weeks to get into a storage unit because we always have turnover. So what we're dealing with here right now is we have you have 9 houses from the bowling alley to the end of the ballpark on Main Street. You know, they're sort of in a business zone right now. They bought their houses. I don't know if there's anybody that's still living there that built their house brand new. But they're sort of in a not a residential, but like a general business type area. So you go to the land use planning strategy, and what Nate had typed up here, and it says goal number 3. It says enhance the visual quality of the city, and the first one is separate industrial and residential uses. Well, that property was a residential. It was turned into commercial about 4 to 5 years ago. You know, because it's on Main Street. Soften the look of all uses to enhance the community's image. This place is going to look beautiful. It's going to look just like Chuck's Drive-In. It's going to have all concrete, and then in the front we're going to plant trees. We're going to plant grass, sod, to make it look really nice. Maintain the appearance of Lennox neighborhood streets and commercial districts. I think I checked the box there. This is going to be a very quality project when we get done with it. It's going to be brand new construction. Encourage high quality new developments that are visibly attractive. Also, I believe that we've checked that box. So when you go to the policies, the city will discourage industrial development near residential areas. Well, a storage unit facility is really does not conduct light industrial activities. It's mainly cars unloading and loading stuff. So that's I think we checked the box there. The city will encourage new commercial developments near commercial areas and buffer them from single-family residential. Well, it's already zoned commercial. All I need is a conditional use permit. And then the same thing here, the city will discourage soft zoning individual parcels to non-complementary use when compared to all surrounding parcels. And like I said, it's already zoned commercial. The property right to the south of it, that was a hotel, so I'm guessing that's why it was commercial. Maybe it's multifamily now because it's apartments. But there's 4 storage units in the back there. And then across the street, just a little bit to the south, I have a storage facility there right by the car wash. And we're going to be redoing that car wash. We're going to make a new automatic and a new self-serve there. We're just working on a couple. There's a little piece of land in there. So, in summary, another thing too, I went to the zoning commission. There was not a single person there objecting. Nobody. It's been posted over 2 months. No one has ever showed up personally to oppose the storage building. It's currently zoned commercial, and it has been for 4 to 5 years ago. And I talked to Wayne Peterson today, and he thought, I don't know if Nate was here when they rezoned it. I think Greg's staff was still here, so I'm not sure when that happened. Storage units don't constitute light industrial activities, people loading and unloading items. And another thing too, it's going to add about $500,000 to the Lennox tax base. So I'll answer.
Is there sales tax too?
No, there's no sales tax in these. There used to be, Chad, and then I think 15 years ago the state nixed it. So.
Would you be, if it was overturned and approved, would you be opposed to putting a fence in front of it that would match maybe the fence that's on the baseball field?
Where at?
In the front part? Maybe 8 or 9.
You mean along the
Along Main?
well.
And then also around the corner maybe to separate yourself from the apartments?
The fence is not a bad situation, Chad, but there's also a thing called safety. So when the cop drives by, he can see if somebody's nibbling with the locks and everything. We get people that go and cut locks all the time, and it's nice to have that visible. That's why I would never build them this way. I'd have to go this way so they could see it. You know, personally, if I could have half of it to build storage units, and you take the other half and make it into a parking lot, would probably be the best, you know, use of it.
And you'll donate all the
Well, I
concrete.
wouldn't probably. You know, hey, I
If you wanna do that,
I
we
could
can-
probably, hey,
Clay, let's make a big deal out of it.
I could probably be talked into doing the work, and you pay for the concrete.
So you're gonna supply all the labor, all we gotta do is buy the mud?
Well, this is the thing though, the land costs so much, so if you guys bought half, if you paid for half of that, I'd do all the labor, and then you guys gotta pay for the concrete.
Right now, we're worried about the conditional use, we're not making
Well,
it.
I think this is kind of part of it.
So, well, and I could be talked, like I said, after I get the first one built, and I see all the home run balls that are coming over there.
Well,
See
I
how
was
big
gonna
those
say, that's
are.
25 windshields you're talking about here. Is that the parking lot?
It's not our part, it's your number.
Yes. So anyway, so that's mainly the deal. And I'd love to, there's just no other place in town to build right now. There's no industrial zone land. I'm working on purchasing some land on Boynton, but from Gene Cooper, but that's the same way. It's not zoned and it's not in this certain comprehensive plan right now. And unless it's zoned light industrial, you gotta get a conditional use permit if it's in the business district. Now, Quaker is right across the railroad track, and that's heavy industrial, so I don't know why it couldn't be heavy industrial or up there, or even light industrial. But this sort of plays into my, you know, we're redoing all of our shops, making it look nice there, we're gonna redo the concrete this summer, and it's only like one parcel away, and that's what really intrigued me when Gene brought it up, so.
What is the demand right now? I mean, I know you said you need another unit, but what kind of actual concrete numbers are you looking at for demand? And then what is your anticipated completion date? And then if you could tell me in numbers, how many you would fill anticipated that year of completion for those storage?
Well, we want to get it done before winter this year. So, you know, we probably start, it depends how many other projects we have going on, but we probably start late summer and finish it, you know, around the Thanksgiving time frame. And these units, because we're so close to Sioux Falls, I mean, we just get calls. We're full right now. We get 2 to 5 calls a week. Or, well, I shouldn't say a week. We get 2 to 5. I get at least 1 to 2 a day. Probably 5 to 10 a week on storage units. We started with one building over there. We've got 240 storage units in town, and they're all full.
And the limitation with the land on Boynton, you said the land on Boynton, right?
Yep.
Is just.
I'm buying it,
Zone.
I'm hedging a bet, and if it doesn't work out, I just bought a piece of land for, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I can't build anything on it.
But you'd be in the same situation you're in now.
Yes,
tonight, right?
exactly.
But you haven't bought this, right?
No, not yet.
You're-
No, I haven't bought this, no.
Have you bought the Boynton land?
No. Well, the same owner owns both of the pieces of property, so. But if you're asking, Chad, do I want to build? Yes, I would really like to build here. I mean, it's
I
close
mean,
to my
this is your
shop.
preferable location. and
Yes,
based off-
right now, because Boynton, it's like driving on a washboard out there on gravel.
Yeah, no.
So that's a tough one. Driving out to D&D for 5 years is a miserable thing, so. Any other questions for me?
So you would be 25 feet setback from the curb? Or from the sidewalk?
Well,
From the right of way.
it's whatever,
From the edge of the right of way? Which
it might even be, that building might shorten up just depending on the.
So 25 feet, I'm just looking at a measurement to see.
Usually
It would have to be from the right of way.
Yeah, usually the sidewalk is all within the right of way, so it's like a foot in back of the sidewalk, so you measure a foot back for the sidewalk, 25 feet back to the west, Chad.
Yeah, so it would actually be the start of your building would actually be behind, you know, it's not, if the fence in the baseball field's a straight line, it's behind that.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
So Nate, some of your reservations with the kind of the development of this is more of a prime spot for more of a commercial application. Is that?
It's
what you're-
zone general business,
Mhm.
given its proximity to residential and park uses. My recommendation would keep those industrial uses in industrial zones or in commercial zones that already have that buffer. Our zoning ordinances term this as an industrial use.
How long ago was the residence removed from that location? Was it
7, 8 years ago.
Oh, I think it's longer than that.
It's been a while.
It was a big old
It was an old house.
house.
You probably remember.
That's probably about right, maybe 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was before, yeah. Longer than that. But I mean, has there ever been any other interest in this piece of property?
Like serious interest.
We get calls, well, once, maybe twice a year about the property, usually in conjunction with neighboring property.
You could ask, we could call Wayne Peterson and ask him, he owns it, or Gene Cooper owns it.
No.
It hasn't been on the market for, I'd say, about a year and a half.
But it was on the market.
It was, yeah.
When the economy was probably a little better than it is now. I guess, what are we looking for here? Like, are we looking for a motion to approve or deny, or?
I would recommend a motion to deny it. And uphold the planning commission's decision.
Make a motion to enter exec.
Second.
Motion a second for exec, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, go on exec at 8:19.
What did you guys go on?
We're gonna go into executive session, so I'll ask you guys to,
Okay. So we're gonna leave, so you guys can talk about
you can go on that time out of the room right there.
That is not what's gonna happen.